And welcome to another tutorial for Blender for Dummies 2nd edition. I'm Jason Van Gumster and I'm walking you through the fun stuff. Alright, well this is a tutorial to help with chapter 7 in the book. We're talking about material slots and assigning more than one material to a single object. And we're going to do a beach ball as our example. So starting off here, we're going to pretty much get rid of our default scene here. I'm going to hide the tool shelf by pressing T. I'm going to remove the 3D manipulator, and I'm going to delete the default cube by pressing X and choosing delete. Alright, now for a beach ball is pretty straightforward. What we're going to use is a UV sphere. So to add the UV sphere, it's Shift A, Mesh, UV sphere, and we have our UV sphere. Now this is way too many faces, more than we need. So I'm going to bring up the last operations panel, and I'm going to change this to 12 and 12. And notice as I type these things, it automatically updates the 3D view with all that information. So we have our cube set up here. Just press enter to confirm all that. Now it's still pretty blocky, so let's try and smooth things out just a touch. So we're going to pop open the tool shelf here and go to smooth shading. So it's all smooth, but it's still pretty faceted. So we're also going to add a subdivision surface modifier by hitting Control 1 on the keyboard. So now we have a little bit smoother looking ball here, and we can go and look at the modifiers here to make sure. I'm going to put this on my tab to edit mode. I'm going to set that so that it wraps to the ball so we can actually see things a little bit more nicely. Now, first things first, we need to start selecting what faces we're going to make our initial material here. And but I'm going to do this from face select mode. So I'm going to hit Control Tab and choose face. So we're in face select mode. You could also do that by pressing this button down here. And what we're going to do here is create our first material. So we're going to go over here to our materials that are blocked. Now, one thing you may notice is that in Blender, the header is hard to find things. So we could middle click and drag this, or if you scroll your mouse wheel, that also works in here. So if you go over here, click on material, notice that it's empty at the moment. We're going to add a new material slot, and right off the bat, I'm going to open this a little bit more so we can see what's going on here. I'm going to pull this a little wider. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this, instead of material 001, which doesn't make sense to anybody, I'm going to name this material white. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this actually white. So it's not fully white, but if I just drag that all the way to the top, it's really white now. Now, that's how we set the loop for the entire basis there. This is the beginning of our setup. But what we need to do is actually do the other parts of the beach ball. So we're going to use the loop select and select these sets of faces here. So if I hit Alt right click, I get those faces, and if I do Shift Alt right click, I get the other set. This is going to be our second material slot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new material slot. Right here, just press the plus. Now it's white, 0.001, which means basically it's going to be the same as our existing white. I'm going to go ahead and name that blue. And you see it changes the name right there. And I'm going to change the color to blue. So somewhere right, I don't know. Let's pick some sort of attractive blue color there. Now notice it doesn't change here. That's because we have to assign these selected faces to this material slot. You click that and bam, we have a blue stripe. Alright, so now all we really have to do is add our other sets of colors and we're good to go. So it's just a matter of going Alt right click, Shift Alt right click. I'm just skipping every pair of face loops and go working our way that way. So this one, we'll make another material slot. We'll call it red. And we'll give it a red color. Bring it down here to the reds. And then assigning it. And then bam, we have that. And then we'll just pick the last one by going Alt right click, Shift Alt right click, And let's do this one as orange. So make a new material slot, name it orange, give it an orange color, orange or orange enough, and then assign it. Tab into edit, tab into object mode, and there you go. You have yourself a beach ball with really nice materials for each different color, and didn't have to do anything really spectacular to do it. Then you can do some cool things and make some nice renders with it. That's that tutorial.